Good morning, children. So I'm doing a revision. I've started revision. I was revising your chapter number last of the civics, that is the Supreme Court. Okay. Today I'm going to do the jurisdiction and powers of the Supreme Court. I have made you people underline in the book also, like which is the first one, that is original jurisdiction. What do you mean by original jurisdiction? Original jurisdiction means the power to hear and determine a dispute in the first instance. Means the Supreme Court of India has the power, all right, to hear any case for its first instant to itself. What are those cases? Number one, center state or interstate dispute. Number two, if there is a case of protection of fundamental right. Number three, transfer of cases from lower court. Number four, interpretation of constitution. If such topics are there, then Supreme Court enjoys original jurisdiction. That we people have studied. Okay. Then second is appellate jurisdiction. Appellate jurisdiction means the power to grant special leave to appeal against the judgment delivered by any court in the country in the higher court. And Supreme Court is the court of appeal, and Supreme Court is the final court of appeal. The judgment which is given by Supreme Court is not going to be challenged in any other court. Alright, now under what cases Supreme Court enjoys appellate jurisdiction? First, in case of constitutional cases. Second, in case of civil cases. Third, in case of criminal cases. Is it clear? Then, after appellate jurisdiction, the next jurisdiction which is enjoyed by Supreme Court was advisory jurisdiction. Under advisory jurisdiction, I told you that Supreme Court has a power of advisory jurisdiction, means to give opinion on any question of law or a fact of public importance. If any question occur on law, or if any matter is there which is having utmost public importance, then the President can take opinion or advice from the Supreme Court. So until and unless advice is not asked by the President of India from the Supreme Court don't give its advice. So it is optional, but one condition is also there. It adopts advisory jurisdiction if it is referred to it by the President of India. That is the most significant fact that you need to remember under the advisory jurisdiction, children. Okay, and under two topic it gives advisory jurisdiction. Any question of law may be referred to Supreme Court if the President considered that question is public importance and necessary to obtain the opinion of Supreme Court. Second, any dispute that arises on the topic of pre-constitutional treaties and agreement. On these two matters, the President take advice from President and from Supreme Court, and Supreme Court enjoys its advisory jurisdiction. Then next we have studied is revisory jurisdiction. What is revisory jurisdiction? According to Article 137, Supreme Court is empowered to review its own judgment or order so that to remove any mistake that might have crept in the judgment in the past. अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट को लगता है कि उसने पास्ट में कोई जजमेंट दिया जिसमें कोई मिस्टेक था या एरर था, अपने उस मिस्टेक या एरर को सुधारने के लिए अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट उस केस को रिव्यू करना चाहता है, तो इट इज पॉसिबल थ्रू द आर्टिकल 137, एंड दैट इज ओनली कॉल्ड एज रिवाइजरी jurisdiction. So Supreme Court is empowered to revise its own judgment which it has made in the past and it has found that in that judgment there was some mistake or error. To correct that mistake or error, it may revise its own judgment, and that is possible according to Article 137, which is called revisory jurisdiction. Then we have studied judicial review, which is very important. Any law which is passed by the executive or legislative body or union or state government, if that law works against the constitution of the country, violates the Constitution of India, then Supreme Court enjoys its judicial review and declare that law ultra vires, null or void. And what do you mean by ultra vires, null or void? It will totally terminate that law. If it found that law which is passed by the central or union legislature is violating the Constitution of India. So the key word under judicial review is ultra vires, null and void. So what do people have underlined in the judicial review? The Supreme Court is the interpreter of the Constitution and its decision is final. It has the power to review laws passed by union or state legislature. Okay, it has the power to review laws passed by union and state legislature. The Supreme Court can declare that law ultra vires, null or void if that law is against the letter and spirit of the Constitution. This power of the Supreme Court is called judicial review. And the last one which we have done, why we need judicial review. There are two reasons. First reason, because our constitution is a written constitution, so we need judicial review. Second reason, that the legislature may not possess the wisdom, experience and impartiality which is needed. So in that condition, Supreme Court enjoys judicial review. The last topic of the chapter which I have done was court of record. Supreme Court also maintains the record of its own judgment as evidence and testimony. Then it is called that Supreme Court is a court of record. Supreme Court is a court of record because Supreme Court keeps the record of its own judgment as evidence and testimony. Okay, and so that in coming years, the lower court or subordinate court can use this record as the precedent. Is it clear? Now see the paragraph. A court of record is a court whose judgments are recorded for evidence and testimony. The judgments are in the nature of precedent, that is, the High Court and other court are bound to give a similar decision in similar case. They are not to be questioned when they are produced before any subordinate case. Okay, so if those testimony and evidences are presented before the subordinate court, nobody will be able to put any questions on them. Is it clear? Court of record has two implications. First one, the judgment and order are preserved as a record. These can be produced in any court as a evident or as a precedent. Second, if a person commits a contempt of court, the court has the authority to punish him. No authority can deprive the court of this right. Which right? That if any person lowers the dignity of court, the court has the right to give him punishment. This exclusive right the Supreme Court of India is having. Is it clear? So children, I have completed the revision of the chapter Supreme Court today. Okay. Now, on next video, I am going to explain the other chapter of civics. Okay. Now, one thing let me tell you, if you find any kind of problem, if you have any kind of the doubt in the subject, if suppose you are not understood anything, you can come to the school and you can clear your doubts, children. Okay. Because your exams are going to happen very soon. So you need to prepare yourself. Okay. So I have completed your revision of Supreme Court today. So please go through all the topics which I taught you in Supreme Court and which are the part of the syllabus. If you have any doubt, if you want to come to the school, you can come and clear your doubts also, children. Okay. So for today only this much. Thank you, children.